Going to
In progress.
everybody, welcome. It's been a while since Benny Bruja and myself, I'm La Bruja, that has done an interview, but we're really excited because we have a very special guest. And this is our first time doing an interview with Kris from Hardsell. But
Hi, everybody.
we have Roger or Rogier.
You can let's keep it Roger. It'll be easier. What's up, guys?
Roger.
Thanks for having me.
Roger from a band we've both been fans of for quite some time, Savage Beat. So welcome.
Oh, welcome.
Cheers.
So we saw you guys back in 2019, I think.
Is that when you did the West Coast run in the US? I think we saw you in Oakland.
And what was that with the Elbow Room?
Yes.
Yeah.
I've heard the Oakland Elbow Room closed down. My friend from the Bay Area was like, yeah, that venue you played closed down or something, but they got one in San Francisco going on or something.
Yeah,
not sure what happened.
That one going again. Someone's trying to take back over that Elbow Room and start having shows again. So
Nice.
So fingers crossed there, and hopefully that
was a nice venue. Good people.
Yeah, it was just hard to load stuff up those stairs, but other than that, it was pretty fun little spot.
Yeah, absolutely.
That was a great show. That was a really great show. It's like that you were supporting the Wired album on that tour, right?
Yeah, that's right. That just came out in March 2019, and we did this in the summer of 2019 because our friends from Portland, Deadbridge Boys, they basically invited us. They said, yo, we got a van and a backline, and you just need to get plane tickets. So we were like, oh, fuck yeah, let's go. So that was that. Yeah, it was great.
Yeah,
it was for what?
That was a great show. I mean, it's like I bought your album that you had, but you guys weren't selling the split though, were you? I don't remember, or it must have sold out. The Deathridge Boys, or was that?
Wow. Oh, I bought the split. You bought the LP.
Okay,
so,
that's
yeah.
right. I was like, why did I get the split?
Yeah.
But
yeah, I think at that point we had the Trench Warfare record, the Wired LP. We had that split, and some compilation stuff or something that was 2019.
Yeah, you guys have done quite a few splits, like with some pretty impressive bands, like Electric Frankenstein.
Yeah, man. I was looking at their discography, and I was seeing like, they did like 70 splits or something, and with like great bands like Helicopters. We're big fans of that stuff, like Lucifer, and a whole bunch of great bands, and we're like, we're gonna fit right into that. That will be number 71, So I wrote Cell, and it was like, yeah, fuck yeah, let's go. Here's some songs, do your thing. And it's like, oh, okay. So that went quite easy. So then again, yeah, they did put out like 70 split 7-inches. So yeah, I can't imagine him being that hard.
Yeah, yeah, they figure they have it down pretty well at this point.
Yeah, it's hard to collect them all, but we're glad to be part of that impressive discography as well.
Oh, you'd be amazed. But yeah, you just currently released a 2-song EP. I'm trying to remember the name of it. My mind just went blank. I just am remembering the Tiger song.
It's Tomorrow Might Never Come.
Yes.
It's the original, and the B-side is the 30-second turn-off cover, I Used to Be a Tiger, which is like an old buffer tune from the late 60s by it's a side project of the Equals. I don't know if you know them. Their famous song is Police on My Back. It's Eddie Grant. It's like British, like buffer soul proto-punk stuff, and that song, that's a hit, and we were like, let's go for that. Recently read an interview. We were in this zine. We were interviewed, and the next interview was No Heart, our friends from Canada, from Vancouver, Victoria, and they were like, yeah, we wanted to cover that song, but Savage beat us to it, so it's back to the drawing board for us. So we were like, I got you. But that's all in good fun. But it's a tune, yeah. So
Yeah,
we're glad.
it's a good little. I played both songs recently on our show, and yeah, both are great. You guys also did like a very side project with someone we've interviewed in the past, and a band that Ben is a huge. I mean, I like him too, but he's a super fan of.
Don't be the Kings of Punk now, do you? Because they're my.
But with Jerry A, how did that come about?
Yeah, that was that was really for us like a dream come true. The thing was, we put out the 3-chord Disciple, the 7-inch, that double 7-inch. We put that out on TKO Records.
Yeah.
And Mark Rainey, the last couple of years, his main bands to release were Poison ID, Anti-Scene, and the Templars, which to me is like quite a trinity of good stuff. But great bands. And I think when he got a hold of Wired, and I just saw him posting like, "Wow, holy shit, this record's great!" And I'm late to the party again and missed him. They played Portland twice, and I fucking missed it. However, I mean, me being like, and all of us being like fans of TKO Records, and the bands were like, "Let me just shoot the guy a message, see what happens." Turns out he's like, "Well, yeah, I'd love to do like a 7-inch and see where that goes." So we recorded a bunch of songs. And then we're like, yeah, let's make it a double 7-inch, which is sort of an uneconomical, annoying format, but fun for us. And then we recorded 2 covers. One of Bonnie Sinclair, which I think Kris will know from Holland. But she had some.
She's huge.
She had some old, like really good rock and roll songs. It's actually written by Peter Koelewijn. You know that as well, Kris.
Oh yeah.
But there was like a total rock and roll song called "That's My Music," and the other one was "City Kids" by the Pink Fairies from the UK. And I was like, let's ask to have some guest vocals here, and that would be interesting for Mark as well, because we're not that known. And if you put like Jerry A in one song and Jeff Clayton of Antascene in another song, that will help the record, and it did. We were very happy with that, and we got to record a song with Jerry and with Jeff. And then I was just shooting the shit on Facebook Messenger with Jerry, and it's like, I want to do more. He's like, yeah, fuck yeah, let's go. And so we recorded a bunch more songs, and then talked to Mark, and he was like, well, yeah, I'll release it. And that's how that came along. And we're talking now of doing maybe another installment, but we got to see if maybe some more originals, maybe some more covers, see if we can do some shows. That's all like in the vague planning stages, if you know what I mean. Yeah. But it turned out great. The record, it's this one.
Yeah.
It's almost sold out. Mark just did another press on white from the last like 60 or 70 covers. So he pressed up another 70, and I think those are on sale on the Poison ID Big Cartel. They're on sale on the TKO website. So if you're stateside, get it there. If you're in Europe, get to our Bandcamp. We still have like maybe 10-15 copies or something. So they're almost gone. It did well record, but I think it's fun.
Yeah.
It's nice. Yeah.
It's a great album, and you guys flew out just for like a one-off show in Portland, right? No, that was you.
No. I mean, I'd be crazy enough to do that, but I mean, if I'd fly out to the States for a show with Savage Beat, we would do something around it. But we did 10 shows on the East Coast on the tour where you saw us, and we played twice in Portland on that tour. One in Blackwater, and the other one was called, what was it? High Water Mark or something.
Oh yeah, High Water Mark Lounge. Yeah, that's a cool spot. They have a lot of great shows there.
Yeah, it was with Depredge Boys, Long Knife. So we were.
Yeah, two of my favorite.
Very good company. So yeah, we had a lot of fun there.
Yeah, that's a really great album. You know, it's just like I had seen Jerry promoting it, and then all of a sudden I was like, what? When I saw that you were the band, I was like, this just even, you know,
Got even better in our book.
Yeah, it's really
It's
good.
sort of a weird combination, but it worked out, and you know, we weren't gonna do any hardcore songs with him because I mean the man did the Poison ID discography. How I'm even gonna imagine adding like hardcore to that. I'm not. We're not touching that, you know. So that's.
Right.
We went into you know, we have a shared love of all sorts of obscure proto punk and the Killed by Dead stuff and the older stuff. And so we were like, let's take it that direction. You know, it will also be something else for him, for us. You know, it doesn't sound like Savage Beat, I think. So that made it fun to do. You know, so yeah,
Yeah.
we're still on it.
You guys have kind of a pretty impressive background in music. Like you come from different bands, right? Like all of you,
Yeah.
or all of you have been in like some pretty impressive bands in the past. Which band were, I mean, have you, you know, what bands have you been in the past?
I've played in well, they weren't that well known. I've played in like more of a trash a crossover trash band called The Shining.
Mhm.
And we never played in the States, but we did have some releases on US labels. We did manage to get to our asses to Japan and Brazil and throughout Europe. But that's what we did. Me and the singer of Savage Beat and our current rhythm guitar player used to have a band called The Works, which was more of like a garage punk band, but that was more, we never really got out of Holland, and other than some one big tour in the Balkan in Eastern Europe, and some, you know, weekends here and there, but I don't think that's very well known outside of Amsterdam, basically. And
Yeah.
so that's what I did. Our old lead guitar player was also in the Lords of Altamont. I don't know if you heard of them. That's like
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
Oh yeah.
he drummed for them for a bunch of years. Yeah. What else do we got? Our singer and guitar player were in a oi band called Heroes and Zeros before that. It was more like a lefty oi band from Holland. They did records on Mad Butcher. So that's like that's that. What else have we got? Yeah, and a bunch more punk bands. So yeah, that's it basically.
It's like weird, like you have all these different genres of music, but your sound of Savage Beat is kind of different to all of that. How did you guys come about that? Like, because you're coming from different genres and then you create this awesome sound. Um,
Well, I mean, we all love rock and roll in all its forms, basically. So you know, my musical taste started with getting like the records of my old man. It's like the Stiff Little Fingers albums, the first Motorhead, the Saints, you know, that sort of Angelic Upstart, Sham 69, that sort of stuff. I think you can find those influences very clearly in Savage Beat.
yeah.
That was basically the idea, to just do like a project based on that sort of stuff, and like on a bunch of old American oi, like Wretched Ones, Bruisers, Force Reality, that sort of stuff, you know, that we've all been really big fans of when we were like 15. I think the first LP I ever bought was American Pie by the Anti-Heroes. You know, I mean, that's a great fucking record, and that's the sort of stuff we try to incorporate, and then it got more broader and more rock and roll, and everything sort of got in there. But the basis is like that, and the other stuff we did during the years is like, yeah, different routes we took in music, like the really fast hardcore. I mean, all those records here, that's like 50% hardcore, and the rest is like punk. Yeah, that's all in there, and what we did.
Yeah, I'm pretty
So,
impressed. I'm sorry, go ahead, Chris.
Yeah, no, I think one of the main things that I find so impressive about Savage Beat is that blend of different styles that you guys did. The first time I heard about you guys was Trench Warfare, which I still think is an amazing album. And I was talking to Walter from Rebellion Records, like, who the fuck are these guys? I had never heard of you guys until I heard that record. So, and then it's weird because a lot of people who will watch this interview and don't know Holland, it's like the scene is really weird because you have like what they call below the river and above the river. And like Amsterdam has its own scene. And it was really hard to cross over, even from like where Hardsell was at the time with Maastricht. We've never played in Amsterdam. You know, and a lot of great bands from Amsterdam never played all the way in the south. So it was really weird how that really, you know, and it's a small country compared to the States where band members will drive from San Diego to Orange County to rehearse. That's like a 3 or 4 hour drive. So,
Yeah.
and so it's weird how those things happen, but then boom, here's Savage Beat, and it's just a great blend of rock and roll and traditional street punk and oi. And you know, it's how did that all come to be? How did the band form? Just friends or traveling
Yeah.
around?
So like the singer and me, we were in a band before that. The drummer and Leon is also a longtime friend. Our original guitarists both also we're all friends, and we just said fun. We said, yeah, let's go do some punk oi music just for fun. At that point, my band was on sort of a break, so I had like a couple of months with no music. So we were just like, fuck it, let's just throw some songs together for fun and record it, because our lead guitar player has his own studio, and he just started that. So it was just for him it was also sort of fun to fuck around with the recording and everything. And yeah, that sort of became Trench Warfare. We didn't even have a name yet, so that's why you never heard of us before that, because we were just fucking around in a practice room and wrote like 8 songs and recorded them, and then we're like, oh, these turn out pretty nice. So then I got in contact with some weird French guy for some reason who tried to sell me some dodgy oi. And I was like, well, nah, no thanks. But what do you think of this? So I sent him the songs, and he's like, oh, that sounds great. I'm starting his new label. I'll put out a 7-inch. And we were like, this is just, project. Why not? Who would have thought that would ever happen? That turned out to be a 12-inch, which sold pretty fast. And then the guy turned out to be like this Parisian weird guy who fucks over bands. And then when we played Paris later on, we got all these people talking about how the fuck could you work with him, and we're like, well, I don't know, he seemed nice and he treated us nice. We got our records, we got what we promised, and then the guy just vanished from the face of the earth. Never heard anything of him again, never saw another release on the label. And we were like, well, wow, that's weird. And then Wouter of Rebellion already agreed to do a CD. And then in 2020, he was like, let's reissue Trench Warfare with the songs we released on a compilation record as well. And that's like the version that's out now, or almost gone, what I hear. And yeah, that's sort of how the whole thing started. And from there on, it started rolling more, and
right. It's kind of weird. It's kind of weird and funny that you say that, because like when people will be commenting on a band, like, why the hell did you do this, or why the hell did you do that, like I still get shit, and I'm getting shit about an upcoming tour soon about why are you playing in that club and why are you doing this. I'm like, because they give us a fucking chance, motherfucker. Like it's as a band, you're just waiting for somebody. You got this product, this baby, and you want to give it a home. And you're trying to find out if somebody wants to help you, or you're trying to network, and you're trying to do these things, and people go, why did you sign a record deal with these guys? They fuck bands over. So, well, sorry, I don't do background checks on everybody. I was just happy that somebody would give me time and wanted to listen to what we did, and they gave us a chance. It's so easy for people to be shitting on bands these days, instead of, what, if you know so well, then what do you do? Why don't you give bands a chance? Why don't you organize a show? Why don't you put up a label? Yeah, it's funny that you say that. It just made me think about all the criticism bands get.
Yeah, you know,
Yeah.
we didn't really get criticized over it. They were just like, have you any idea what this guy did in the past to other bands? Like, and that was some of the classic French bands, like well, what did he put out?
Introspect or what?
Yeah, it's like Infanterie Sauvage. He also put out like Alternate Action, like one of these pre-Bishop's Green bands, and I think that's like a sort that's sort of weird. And then I've heard stories about when he had a hardcore label that he asked his band from Orlando, Florida, called the Runamucks, to record a song but release it under a name of a classic band and act like it's like that classic band instead of the other band. That's sort of weird shit, you know. We were like, well,
Wow.
let's not do a second record with him. He offered us quite some money to write another record at one point, and then give him all the rights and whatnot, and was like, well, nah,
Yeah.
this
Nope.
God,
no, it never ends. Gone, and then we just started working with Wouter and Mark and Mike Joe of Longshot, and you know, these are some stand-up people who never signed a contract. These are all just, you know, on a handshake and a bunch of beers, and you know, the trust we put in them, and they've never put it to shame. So we're good.
Yeah, Mark is a longtime friend of mine, and yeah, he's a good guy. So
Solid.
yeah, he's really solid. And it's like
Mark Rainey.
Mark Rainey, yeah. He's an old friend of mine. But yeah, it's like, you know, if you're working with him, yeah, it's a good thing. And you know, I'm just really excited, like this new 2-inch EP that you put out. Is there any plans to release like another full-term album?
We're writing at the moment, and you know, so our original lead guitarist, he quit already 2 years ago, and it took a while to find someone with the chops to, you know, replace him. We tried a bunch of people, and they try hard, and we're all good people, but we needed, you know, have like the right fit and idea, and it seems like we have that now, and we got a bunch of songs. You know, we're working on them, and I don't know when it's going to be done, but hopefully this year we will be able to hit the studio. Well, you know, that will not come out before 2025, I suppose. And I think like a song like the Tomorrow Might Never Come, it's, you know, that single is already sold out, so we might just put it on the album as well, you know, and see what happens.
Yeah, that was like a nice little you know, from the last album that you released. It's like that's kind of like a nice little taste, you know, because it's like you guys are really a band that both of us have played on our show, because it's like the way our radio show goes, it's Dave and myself and Ben, the three of us, we all do 3 different segments on the one show. And so I know both Ben and myself, like you guys have been in our regular rotation from time to time for quite a while. So
Thanks. We appreciate that a lot.
This was just like a nice little taste to hold us off until you put out something more, you know. It's really, really a good split.
Yeah, that was the idea, because I wrote that song and we chose that cover, and then we asked our old guitar player. He recorded it anyway. It was like, you want to play leads on this one, because you know we want to have something, you know, for now, something new, because you gotta keep doing stuff to keep it interesting. And yeah, he was happy to do it, and the song turned out great. So yeah, we're happy, we're very pleased how that came about, and it's on the on the label of our guitarist. He put it out. You know, it was also fun to work with him on that. So that, yeah, you know, it was a fun thing to do.
I noticed from like the first album to like now, there's your sound, it's kind of evolved. Like, is there anything that's excuse me, influenced you since when you guys first formed together, then versus now?
Well, I think on the first record and on Wired, there's a bit more oi,
Yeah.
and that's still. But I think we on the last song in the middle we straight up ripped off Blitz basically, with the guitar part and the drums. It's just Warriors basically. So it's still kind of there, and we try to mix it up. Basically, when we started finding our sound more, was like, from what happens if you just cross, I don't know, the Helicopters with the Stiff Little Fingers, or if you cross I don't know, the MC5 with let's say the Ramones or whatever, and just mix that sort of stuff together. I think that's interesting because we could play like straight up oi or straight up rock and roll, but there's like millions of bands doing that, and we're sort of interested in getting bits and pieces from everywhere and mixing that into something, well, I'm not gonna call it new, but like, something a bit different.
Yeah.
It's like I like the bands that add some weird stuff to it, that tends to keep it more interesting.
Yeah, take things in a different direction.
Yeah, I'm a sucker for like old punk and oi, but there's a lot of bands who also and then they're playing a song and then they sing, yeah, we play street punk rock and roll. Okay, yeah, I noticed. I mean, but if you have to tell me in your song you're doing something wrong, man, Jesus.
Yeah.
I like, we like to mix it up, and we wear most influences on our sleeves, and
Definitely hear a lot of Blitz in you guys, and it's funny, we were just talking about Blitz last night, but more so about the album that they put out that was more like a
what, the telecommunication,
yeah.
or
We're just
the atrocity that came after that. What's that one? The Killing Dream.
yeah.
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 I do not own those records. Those, no. I'll stick to Voice of a Generation. That's like and this best stuff.
Don't shame me, but I do own that album, but I also am like originally a punk, but in my heart I'm a old school death rock chick from the 80s, so
But then I can see you liking that second record. It's more of a new wave
yeah.
of sort of stuff, and I mean, I've listened to it, with that new age song. They were sort of going that direction, and then they went over the hill on the album, and the new age is like a fantastic song, and that's already going there or something, but
Yeah.
great stuff.
Yeah, I like both though, but yeah, I told definitely Blitz was one of the early Blitz, I should say, is like one of the influence that I could see with your sound. But
Yeah, so and mix that up with like Detroit rock and roll with
yeah,
Scandinavian, with with the older bands from Amsterdam that played along those lines. That's where we're trying to go for. Have like the aggro and the intensity of Blitz, with like the rock and roll of I don't know, the Sonic Rendezvous Band, or the MC5 or Old Stooges or whatever. Try Radio Birdman from Australia. Lots of this Australian stuff is great. Get all that mixed up. That's interesting to us.
yeah.
Throwing that together.
Are you guys you're talking about playing some upcoming dates and a tour? Is it just going to be like strictly European, or are you going to planning or hoping to go abroad?
Well, for now we got like 10 shows or something coming up. That's Europe. Yeah, we're doing some. We're doing a show in Berlin and Hanover, they tour with Crown Court from London. You probably heard of them.
Cool. Very cool.
That's a great band. So we're doing so we're doing a bunch of shows with them. We play in Antwerpen. We play in Essen in Germany, and so Belgium, Germany, and a show in Holland in Hoofddorp. So that's going to be fun. And after that, we're doing 3 shows in Spain and Basque country. So
wow, very cool.
Nice.
There. And my 43rd birthday will be with Crown Court in London. Savage Beat will be playing then.
That'll be a lot.
It's going to be a great one. Yeah, so that's basically what we have coming up. But that's all European shows, or these days England isn't exactly Europe anymore, but to you guys probably still is. But
Americans are bad with geography, so no worries.
But we do understand there is a small body of water in between, so
yeah, but don't sell yourself short. You don't want to give the people in Europe the light of day who can't name all the states and where exactly North and South Dakota are located on a map of the United States. So
yeah, it's like there's like California, New York, Texas, maybe Florida, and probably not much in between.
Yes. I've visited, I think, 32 states, so I've seen a bunch.
Yeah.
For most people, it's just America, and that's it.
Yeah.
Where are some of your favorite places to play in the States?
Sorry?
Where are some of your favorite places to play in the United States?
Well, the places I played were basically in was just the West Coast tour.
Mm-hmm.
I did roadie for friends of mine, Citizens Patrol. They did a quite extensive East Coast and Midwestern tour, and then I was selling T-shirts and sang a cover song every night. I like New York a lot. Obviously, being like from Amsterdam, there's quite some similarities there.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we'll see if we can get you guys to come to
Richmond was cool.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you told me. Yeah, let's see what we can arrange.
I'm curious what cover
Cleveland. That was violent but funny.
That's a great sticker for Cleveland.
Yeah.
Cleveland, but funny. That's a T-shirt. That's a T-shirt right there.
Yeah.
Oh man, that show they put there was in a club called Now That's Class.
Yeah.
Which was an old gay bar.
Sounds like Cleveland.
And it was in a bad part of town. And I wanted to go out to walk to the big lakes, and the owner, I believe his name was Paulie. He was like, "Yeah, don't go left." I said, "Okay." No, don't go right. Please, just stay here. There's a bar. Go to the bar, drink. It's fine, but don't go. But yeah, that was this cover song we did. That was BGK.
Oh yeah, great, very cool.
Yeah, speaking of BGK, our drummer Leon and our old guitar player Steven recorded a record with Tony of BGK. Turned out his last record. Sadly, he died last October.
Yeah.
Rest his soul. He was a great, big influence on us. He played a solo, the New World record. Great guy. But they managed to record that his final album, and they got like people like Yellow Biafra, Nicky Anderson, Jerry A, Jennifer Finch. They got he pulled in all favors, so they got like this all-star record coming out. Alternative Tentacles is releasing it stateside. It's really gonna worth checking out. It's a really good record.
Bruja was very lucky. She got to see BGK when they came to the States in the 80s.
This brother, fuck you, man. I never saw it. For you, man. I'm so jealous. It's one
that's one of the ones I'm jealous of for sure.
Oh yeah. I was very blessed to grow up in the LA area. So
Yeah, it was one of those classic Olympic auditorium shows.
I don't know.
You were there?
Yeah.
There's footage of that show. That song, that was the one we covered. There's
Yeah.
footage of the show, and Tony told me that flip side, they recorded
Yeah.
the whole. They were so anti-capitalist at that moment that they didn't want to fork over like the $30 or something for the show. So then the tape got erased, and that song's like the only one in existence or something. And if you just see that, I mean, I'm a high school teacher, teach history, and punk came in
Yeah.
the curriculum here and there, and then I was like, but how does it look? And then I showed them that Olympic auditorium video of BGK just going the fuck off. And it's so great.
I think I have the flyer for that show too.
Awesome.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, it's
I
in
do.
the
Yeah.
it's in the stack somewhere.
Yeah, I have the flyer for it. I'm very 99% sure I still have the flyer for that.
Amazing.
Because no, I do, because I showed it to you.
Yeah.
That's how you know I went
Yeah.
to it. But yeah, it was an amazing show.
Classic music, great people. And yeah, it's such a shame he didn't get to hold the final record. It's very sad.
Yeah.
It is very sad.
Yeah.
But he managed to finish it here, the final mixes and everything, so he knew it was right.
Yeah.
He okayed the artwork, I think, but then it was too late. Cancer is a nasty disease.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
It certainly is.
Sadly, I think everyone's been affected by it or knows someone, sadly. But so are you the shows that you're doing in Europe, it's just a tour, like, not any like a festival circuit or anything like that?
We did a bunch of those last year, and this year not that much. Last year we played Shock in Belgium. I'm sure Kris knows Shock in Gielen. That's I find that to, yeah, that's my favorite festival worldwide. It's small, got like 3 stages. They got great bands coming over. I mean, the year we played, Cox Sparrow was the headliner, but they also had like Fu Manchu, Marky Ramone played, we played, some new Australian bands played, and they got like a whole rockabilly thing going as well, which I'm not that keen on, but they got great stuff there. It's affordable, it's friendly, the organization are great people, they've been doing this shit for, well, Kris, how long does that festival exist? It's like 50 years or something, like a really long.
Yeah, it's been around for a long time, and it just has still the real feel. It was funny because I was talking to my drummer a few weeks ago, and like I'm almost 50 and he is like just 24, so it's a big generational gap, and then coming from Europe versus the States. And I was like, well, I know, oh yeah, we saw that band. Let's just say it was Motorhead, Alice Cooper, Iron Maiden, and then you had Biohazard, and then you had all the hardcore bands and stuff like that. But it was a giant flyer, and it was one of the early days of gospel. And I showed them all those flyers, like, holy shit, that's insane. But like in Europe, what they do a lot of times, they do in the summer, it's festival season. And so all of us and during the year, we just go to small club shows, and mostly it's local, right? Between an hour, we hardly ever drive 2 hours to see a band. Then you have to be pretty fucking good to get people to come out. But it's on the big festivals, you can see like on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, you pretty much can see everybody in a weekend. And if you do 2 or 3 of those festivals throughout a year, you pretty much see everybody. And it's so different than in the States sometimes because there's so many more bands. So that was cool. And so Shockfest itself is like, I mean, it's the way it should be. It's just the way
it's a festival without like the bullshit of the bigger festivals. It's like it's very real. And I've been there 5 times or something, and every year, my wife and I went, like, I think in 2017. What did we see? We saw like the Helicopters, Bad Religion, Zeke, and that's just three on the top of my head. Flashstones played, New Bomb Turks played. These are like lineups where like it's diverse.
Yeah, that's great. We can't even get a New Bomb Turk show in the States, so it's very lucky there.
Yeah.
I saw them twice there. I
So once
saw
a year in Ohio, and that's it.
Yeah, but they tour. 9 Pound Hammer played there.
Yeah, that would have been cool too.
Yeah.
Yeah, Nashville Pussy. Yeah, Scott and Blaine are old friends of ours as well. So it's like it's just great. Seeing all those bands there. It's just a lot of fun. And then Shock's the best. Better beer in Belgium as well than in Holland. So
So
we're very
So-
happy about it.
do you attend a lot of show, like when you're not touring or doing things with Savage Beat? Do you attend a lot of shows or festivals?
Well, to be honest, the last year not so much because my wife and I got a kid.
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you. And since the boy, there's other priorities, and then I see less shows than we're used to. Although we're gonna see a bunch of good stuff this year, and when we find a babysitter, we love to go out. But I mean, we used to go to tons of shows always. I used to book shows, so I've seen like hundreds of concerts, but the last years have been a bit slower.
Yeah.
So
So there was
I
like
wanna
there was a
follow up.
there was a great show yesterday in Rotterdam. It was Lion's Law with Tyrant,
Nice.
Danish band, and Malat with my friend Ronnie, who I do a band with, but I just couldn't make it. It's just it's a shame. Normally I always was gone, but it happens.
So
Yeah.
I want to quickly follow up on that. I've noticed the last few times, and you mentioned it before, even like the club in Cleveland and the other clubs, like due to COVID, so many clubs have closed. So many promoters are just no longer doing stuff for bands. Have you noticed, like in the Amsterdam area too, like is it harder to find clubs to book shows? Because like I've noticed so many clubs are gone, and so many promoters have they just became dads or moms, or the job became more important now, and so it's getting harder and harder to find clubs that will allow our kind of play.
Well, there's a bunch in Amsterdam still, but not as much as there used to be. I mean, there's Oki, it's like the old squatted place, which still has a lot of great bands coming through. There's like obviously like Paradiso, Melkweg, like the famous venues are still going strong, but that's about it right now in Amsterdam. Haarlem, so next to Amsterdam, has Patronaat and Slachthuis, which is doing way better actually also in attendance than Amsterdam at the moment, because that's where COVID went into the advantage of underground music instead of destroying it, because there was this club in Amsterdam called Pacific Park, run by this old punk Martijn, who used to be in the neo-punks and Suspensors, like some Dutch Killed by That stuff. Maybe you heard of it, maybe not. However, when COVID hit, he just opened this new club with practice rooms and everything in Haarlem, because he had to get out of Amsterdam because that place got sold. But he couldn't do anything. But what did he do? There was all these young kids with nothing to do. He gave them the key and said, go form a band. So all these kids that just went in there and started playing and formed bands and started recording. And then we did the release show of the Tomorrow Might Never Come record there last September. And what happened, it was already going up in attendance, but there was like 250 kids there with an average age of 19 or younger. I think there was like, of the 250 people, there was like 50 or 70 of like my age, which I used to be young at shows, and I'm 42. And then it was like all these 17-year-olds, and like the opening band was like 4 girls in like entombed shirts, going the fuck off and playing some nasty hardcore. We were like, fuck yeah, it's great. So there's some stuff happening here and there, and then I want to credit Martijn for just giving the kids the opportunity to do it. And I think if you nurture music in a scene like that, you can actually have it grow again, and you see.
That's awesome, and that's really cool, because a lot of things that I talk to other band members and friends, and like in interviews like this with you, that we see the scene getting older and older, and not more young blood coming in, because
It's rejuvenating in Holland. It really is. So
that's
Great.
awesome.
it really is, and it's not everywhere. Amsterdam, not so much, but there's all these young bands in the south. In Eindhoven, you got like all these great hardcore bands like Pressure Pact, Azijnpisser. It's more like on the like really aggressive, all bordering on the crusty side of things, but it's great stuff. In Rotterdam, there's some new bands,
Nice.
and they're like combining stuff, and they're enthusiastic, and so it's not always as good everywhere. It's maybe not as big as the like the mid 90s or in the 80s, but we get sizable audiences again, and it's fun, and there's more young kids, and they're enthusiastic, and they're starting their own bands. So
I
no
think
complaint.
I think the youth is, I totally believe that the youth is where it's at to keep our scene thriving. Me being an old punk, it's like I was a teen, young kid in the early 80s in the LA scene. And it's like one thing that I've noticed amongst my generation is like a lot of us, like they just kind of like shut out any of the new bands. But there's just so much great music out there with these young people. And it's just like, it's really sad though too, because it's like, at least here in the States, I'm not sure in Europe, but it's like, it's really hard to book an all ages show.
Yes.
Yeah, that's always been a problem in the States, right?
Yeah. And it's like an all ages show versus like a 21 and over show, you're going to have a much, much bigger turnout. And I feel like you're going to have, like for you, the touring bands, I think you'll have a better chance of having people buy merch with the youth versus like old folks like myself. Yeah. But it just makes me really sad that there aren't enough all ages venues, that support the scene, the scene of the youth, because there's so much talent out there, so much talent.
Yeah,
it makes it so much more fun, just before COVID, like from 2010 and onwards, and in Amsterdam, when bands were playing, I would still be one of the younger people, and I was pushing 40 already, and it's like, this is getting so old. And now there's like all these young kids coming in again. So we're very grateful that that's happening. I mean, it's not huge, but it's it's something, and
it's a start.
Yeah, we'll have a couple of more years in us. I mean, there's like young bands, like our guitar player released his band, the COVIDs. They started in the COVID time, obviously, but it's like great 77 punk, and they're like also younger people. Check them out. It's great stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely will.
Yeah, if you think of more bands from current bands from Holland or from Amsterdam in particular, shout them out, because we're definitely curious, and I'm sure a lot of our listeners are too. The Bruja's international segment of the show is very popular, and people love hearing what's going on, in the next country over or halfway around the world. So
yeah, I only play international bands on my portion.
Nice.
Yeah, I try not to do British bands, because they get enough airplay, but anything outside of that, I do try to focus on that, because there are so many good bands around the world that deserve a chance to be heard, because they're great, which is one of the ways that I stumbled upon you back in the day.
Yeah. There's good stuff going on in Netherlands. So like I mentioned, like you have the COVIDs. There's some older bands that are sort of playing more again. I like the young ones from Maastricht. Kris will probably know them. just a little bit, but their new record is one of the best they did, I think. What else is there? Yeah, there was this band. What were they called? No Brains. So like this young Utrecht band. It's just, you know, they're having fun. They're young kids.
Yeah.
They're doing well. So there's like Pressure Packed. It's a hardcore band. You got The Breed from Eindhoven. Azijnpisser from Eindhoven is great. That's more like fast hardcore. What else is there? Is there more? On the top of my head, that's some of the bands. You got the Reapers from Rotterdam. They're a bit older. That's a good. That's
Yeah.
a good one.
Oh yeah,
They're good.
really good.
So I see you're a fellow record collector like ourselves. This is just one of our shelves that we have. But what are you
The
currently?
shelf. This is where it needs to stay within this. My wife designed this this one for me, so I'm very lucky there.
Yeah.
We came to the agreement that this is enough. There's a big portion of her stuff there as well, but you know.
Nice. What are you currently like listening to right now?
Currently, well, let me get the new stuff.
Yeah, being fellow record collectors, you can never ask like, what's your favorite brand? You know, I mean, yeah, there are, but it's just like, you know, sometimes what you listen to goes in cycles. So
Yeah.
Yeah, I try to keep up with everything new, but there's so much stuff coming out lately.
Yeah.
that I'm trying, but I'm missing out at least 70% of what's coming out. But some of the stuff that I've been really into is I like the Chicago band a lot, Fuerza Bruta.
Mhm.
yeah,
Yeah.
they're really good.
I played them on my show. They're really good.
Yeah.
I think one of those guys got a new band, or like a newish band, Lost Legion. They're gonna put out an LP.
Yes.
They just, it
Guitar
just
player-
got released, yeah.
Yeah, their guitar player sent me the song some time ago, and that's also one of those more interesting records because it like the basis is like oi, but they throw in a whole lots of different like Chicago punk or some weird stuff in there, and it makes it very exciting to me.
Yes.
This is one I like a lot. Is fellow Texans for Kris here is Concrete Elite.
Yeah.
Made
Yeah.
a split with Ultra Razia from Canada.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I like both a lot. Savage Beat did a split with Concrete Elite at one point. And I'm working with my project band on something with the Canadian, but that's for later. This is on Rebellion. It's a great record. For the LA stuff, I just bought this Jeff Dahl record. Maybe
Oh,
you
yeah.
know it.
Yeah.
I got this, one of my favorite bands ever, Sheer Terror. These are demos of love songs for the Unloved record. It's one of my favorite records, so I had to have that. And this is a Canadian band with a Belgium bass player who did the cover for our Three Chord Disciple record, Arthur Spoiler. It's called Stigmatism.
Oh, that's a great record.
That's a really good
Oh
album. Yeah.
man.
And it sounds like total United Blood AF
Yeah.
worship, and then done absolutely right. And you know, I like it a lot. It's like New York hardcore without any of the later influences, but like in its purest form. And
Yes.
I'm very fond of that really old AF and Urban Waste and that sort of stuff. So that record was like, I had to have that one. So yeah, that's the current stuff. It's like a mix of things I've been getting into.
Yeah, a lot of good stuff.
Yeah. If
Yeah,
there's,
good shit.
sorry, go ahead, Kris.
No, I said good shit.
Yeah.
Oh,
If anybody wants to purchase any of your music or any of your swag or anything like that, where could we go to purchase that?
so I think if you're stateside, I mean, I'm happy to send a record that was produced and made in Portland back to Portland, but I mean, I think it's probably easier to like the Jerry A records in the States. I would order it from the Poison ID Big Cartel, just order it directly from Jerry. Savage Beat stuff, I would recommend to get it through Mike Longshot on Pirates Press, on the Pirates Press website. That will save a ton of postage. We did a new pressing of Wired just the other day. It's now with gold lettering and it's on a picture disc.
Oh, nice.
Cool.
You could get that there. And if you're in Europe, you can either go to the Savage Beat Bandcamp, which is savagebeat.bandcamp.com, where we have some records still available, but it's, you know, they're going fast. And then there's a bunch of distros, like obviously Rebellion Records is a great place to shop for good music. Obviously, there's Alex from Germany from Tasm, Try and Stop Me Records. That's a good one. There's some various record stores that do also online orders where you can get our stuff or in general great European stuff. So yeah, that's where you could get most of our stuff, and it's obviously on Spotify and those sort of Apple Music and whatnot. You know, you can get it online as well, or you buy it, the digitals as well on Bandcamp. Then most of the money goes to Bandcamp, but some of it goes to us as well.
Buy it the first Friday of the month. There's a Bandcamp Fridays.
Yeah, Bandcamp Friday.
Is there anything else
I
that
think the connection is a bit.
Yeah. Is there anything else that you want to add that we haven't covered?
No, I think it was quite an extensive interview going in lots of directions. Cool. I don't think we wrote it off the tracks or derailed it, but it went all right. So I mean, yeah, we got a bunch of cool shows coming up in Europe. That's going to be great. We're working on new stuff. We've got some new pressings of some records out. Yeah, that's basically what we're up to right here.
We do have an international following on our show. So are there any upcoming European dates that you want to announce? That you can announce, I should say?
Yeah. Well, they're announced on our social, so on Instagram and Facebook. We'll have a tour poster soon. But the 30th of March, we play Berlin. 31st, we play Hanover in Germany. What is it? I think the 4th of April, we play Antwerpen with Crown Court. 5th of April, we play Essen in Germany and Don't Panic with Crown Court. And the 6th, we play Hoofddorp with Crown Court in Holland. And then there's I think it's 26, 27, 28 of April, we play in near Bilbao and Madrid and Arrasate in respectively Basque country of Euskadi and in Spain.
I'm very impressed that you remembered the dates and the cities.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of booking goes through either me or the drummer, and I have a good mind for records and band stuff. So yeah.
Well, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us. This has been a long time coming, and I really appreciate it. You know, it's like be sure to check Savage Beat out, definitely on Bandcamp. Do you have a web page?
No, it's the Bandcamp.
Bandcamp. Yeah.
That's the thing you have these days too, like as opposed to old school websites, which are way harder to maintain. And you know, Instagram, Bandcamp, Facebook, that's easy.
Okay. Well, thank you so much. Hopefully we can see you in stateside soon. We do travel to Europe from time to time. If not, maybe we can catch you in Europe. But thank you so much.
Well, let us know if you come over. We'll you know, try and play a good show for you guys then.
Absolutely.
Oh no, I'm sure you will, because you guys were great when we saw
Yeah.
you here stateside. Thank you so much. We'll definitely get, you guys definitely will continue to get airplay from us, because we're total
We're all
fans.
big fans here
Yeah.
on the Nod.
Appreciate it a lot, guys. Thanks a lot. Cheers.
Rogier. See you next time, buddy. We'll see each other somewhere. Sail to the boys.
For sure, we'll do.
Cheers.